special edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the Prime Minister made a statement yesterday that no intrusion had taken place into Indian territory, the opposition has upped its ante and a political war of words has broken out, with the opposition questioning what they called was a discrepancy between what the Prime Minister said and what External Affairs Minister Mr. S. Jaishankar had said on June 17. In fact, let's first listen in to the Prime Minister's detailed statement made after the all-party meeting yesterday in Delhi.
न वहां कोई हमारी सीमा में घुस आया है, न ही कोई घुसा हुआ है, न ही हमारी कोई पोस्ट किसी दूसरे के कब्जे में है। लद्दाख में हमारे 20 जाबाज शहीद हुए, लेकिन जिन्होंने भारत माता की तरफ आंख उठाकर देखा था, उन्हें वो सबक सिखा कर गए हैं। मैं आपको भी आश्वस्त कर रहा हूं कि हमारी सेना देश की रक्षा के लिए कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ रही है। डिप्लॉयमेंट हो, एक्शन हो, काउंटर एक्शन हो, जल थल नभ में हमारी सेनाओं को देश की रक्षा के लिए जो करना है वो कर रही है। आज हमारे पास ये कैपेबिलिटी है कि कोई भी हमारी 1 इंच जमीन की तरफ आंख उठाकर भी नहीं देख सकता।
After an attempt by the opposition and a certain lobby which the government said was trying to create a mischievous interpretation, there was a detailed clarification that was put out by the government. The government today said that the centre had put the map of India, and the map of India clearly highlights what part of the land belongs to India, and our braves are fully committed to protecting India's integrity. The government also in its clarification said the centre has actually thwarted every single soldier on the ground, had thwarted every attempt to intrude into our territory, and this is what the Prime Minister was trying to say. And the most important was that the deadly face-off was a direct result of the Chinese side trying to erect structures on India's side of the line of actual control, an attempt which was not successful. It is this eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation that led to a complete face-off, fisticuffs, a confrontation which led to the loss of 20 lives of our brave martyrs. This is exactly what the clarification said was the Prime Minister's statement yesterday. But the onslaught from the Congress party continued. Tweets were put out by Rahul Gandhi, by Jairam Ramesh, P. Chidambaram, and of course, the face-off became more and more bitter as the entire controversy grew. Let's listen in to how the Congress targeted the government and the BJP president responded.
It is the Indian position, as articulated by the Prime Minister, that has come as a total shock. And once the Indian Prime Minister makes the statement that there are no Chinese on Indian territory, he has to define what Indian territory is.
आज देश चीन के सरहदों पर, भारत चीन के बॉर्डर पर गलवान में जब लड़ाई लड़ रहा है, तो हमारे नेता हर दिन ट्वीट करके फौज का मनोबल गिरा रहे हैं और अपनी बुद्धि का प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। अनआर्म्ड क्यों चले गए? अरे मालूम नहीं है तुमको कि क्या नियम होते हैं, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समझौते क्या होते हैं, और आर्म्ड नहीं गए थे।
Well, the legitimate question on the news hour is just one. with this mischievous controversy, as the government has called it, on national security, is the opposition actually lowering the possibility of a fight back? That's the question and the big debate. India draws the line. Coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition, Debate Number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me tonight, Sudhanshu Trivedi, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me tonight is author, scientist, expert, my friend Dr. Anand Ranganathan, and of course General G.D. Bakshi, the man who's the pride of India, having served in the army, and he is going to give us a perspective on what this kind of a political controversy at the time when our soldiers are in this kind of a situation, is it really going to help increase their morale or actually lower them? And also joining me are representatives of the opposition point of view. Tanveer Ahmed of the JDS, Ghanshyam Tiwari, he is the leader of the Samajwadi Party, and my friend Dr. Suman Siraman. Dr. Suman Siraman, my question to you first. Is this the Congress's attempt now, after it found itself completely cornered in the all-party meeting yesterday, with every other party backing the Prime Minister and his decision, and even somebody like Mamata Banerjee, who's completely opposed to the BJP, to Prime Minister Modi, to every political ideology on that side? She said this is not the time to ask questions publicly. The Congress finds itself absolutely isolated and therefore has to make itself politically relevant. So every morning, Mr. Rahul Gandhi gets up and starts tweeting. If Mrs. Gandhi wanted to ask these questions, she could have asked these questions at the all-party meeting. What was preventing her to do it? But isn't this the visceral hatred for Modi that is driving the agenda of the Congress party rather than the security of this nation?
Navika, first of all, let me remind you in 1962, when the then opposition leader Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji the Prime Minister asked the Prime Minister for a special session, and then it was granted. And at that session, they wanted the Prime Minister Nehru was given advice to keep it secret. And he actually said, no, the people have a right to know what is going on. We are not going to be discussing military strategy, but the people have obviously got to know what is going on. So here is a situation where at the end of almost 8 weeks now, the nation is pretty clueless because there have been multiple statements which are pretty contradictory in nature. And the bottom line is 20 brave hearts of India have made the supreme sacrifice for the country. Now, what did they sacrifice their lives for? Were they defending our territory, which is what is commonly believed and which is what we feel is the real picture, which in which case it means that there was an intrusion into our side. Now, if we are saying that there are no Chinese troops on Indian soil, and yesterday very clearly after the Prime Minister's statement, the Chinese have put out an official statement claiming the entire Galwan Valley. So now we can simply clarify, do we agree with that position that the Galwan Valley is basically part of Chinese territory? If we do not agree up to where is it part of our territory, put out the map and show the position of the troops at this point of time, which would sort of end this whole controversy once and for all. Now, I do not know.
But it has.
There is a diplomatic.
But Suman Siraman, the government has put out a clarification. The Prime Minister has made a statement. You can only depend on the government for this clarification, because short of the government's clarification, nobody else can make their position clear. When that clarification has been made, why do you continue with these questions? Is my question to you.
No, one second. See, the statement of the Prime Minister yesterday was in conflict with the statements made by the Ministry of External Affairs 2 days earlier. So there is a problem.
And the clarification has come today.
No.
And the clarification has come today if you didn't understand.
You can look at the map. I mean, you can look at the map, but it does not explicitly say that the Galwan Valley, which China claims in a public statement, actually belongs to India, which has been the official position of India for many years.
Well, before I get a political point of view, and please allow me some indulgence, Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, because I know you are absolutely on the ball and wanting to respond, but let us get a non-political interpretation. And let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you, when the Prime Minister says that there is no intrusion, was he speaking about the position on the 19th of June? Everybody knows that there was an altercation which became serious on the 15th of June from 7 p.m. to midnight on the 16th of June, and we lost 20 of our braves. I want to ask you, if that attempt to intrude, raise structures on our side of the LAC is the statement that was made by the External Affairs Minister, the Prime Minister said today that intrusion does not exist because our soldiers pushed them back. Now, which part of this statement is the opposition not being able to understand?
Yeah, good evening, Navika. I'm just astonished by the logic here. I mean, you have a dozen, maybe more Chinese satellites tracking every human movement, leave alone in Galwan Valley, all over India. Do you think under such circumstances, the Prime Minister of India is going to say something that is contrary to what actually happened? I mean, what kind of logic is this? Perhaps the PM and EAM should have made their statements in Italian with suitable hand gestures and not Hindi or English, so that those with Bangar cement in between their ears would have comprehended them correctly. And maybe the time has come now for the Indian Army to, along the lines of Madras and Jat regiments, induct a Patrakar regiment, given that so many journalists consider themselves more knowledgeable than the men who command our armed forces. This Patrakar regiment, Navika, full of Congress Sahayaks and colonels, willing to shift allegiance to any nation at loggerheads with India while Modi is in power, doesn't realize that the Galwan standoff isn't an issue of corruption or of politics but of national security. Every single word uttered by Modi would have been vetted by the army, mindful of the ground situation and future implications. It follows that if you disbelieve what Modi is saying, that not an inch of our territory is in Chinese hands and that the latter sought to erect tents on the LAC and were rebuffed, it follows that you don't believe the armed forces who counseled the PM, because there is total consonance between Modi, Jaishankar and the military. And by the way, the Galwan Valley that Modi is being accused of losing to China, the very same Galwan was under Chinese occupation before 2014. And who was saying this? You guessed it. These same colonels from the Patrakar regiment. I quote, "Since the 1962 war, China has extended its control over the entire Galwan River," end quote. Another one. In 1960, China insisted the entire Galwan River Valley was within their claim line and occupied it following the 62 war, end quote. So suddenly, China lost Galwan to Modi in 2014 and now has reclaimed it. Don't these turnips have any shame? Incidentally, one of the 600 Chinese intrusions between 2010 and 2013 during the UPA that these stooges were silent on was a lightning raid on June 17, 2013 at Chumar. An incursion the UPA did not disclose for 3 weeks for fear of public anger, forcing cancellation of the defense minister's visit to China. Ye hai inki kartootein. So my advice to this Patrakar regiment is, when you transmogrify your hatred for Modi into hatred for India, your pen stops being mightier than the sword. Don't do it.
Anand Ranganathan, I thought I had invited you to my show and you wouldn't generalize about Patrakars in such sweeping strokes. I happened to be once sitting on this show with you. Are you throwing eggs and tomatoes at me as well by calling the entire regiment Patrakar regiment? थोड़ा तो लिहाज कर लीजिए. आप तो ऑपोजिशन की तरह हो गए कि सबको एक ही साथ, क्योंकि मोदी को हेट करना है तो आर्मी को साथ में लपेट कर लिया.
No, Navika, I already clarified this Patrakar regiment has Congress Sahayaks and colonels.
Navika ji, at this stage in this conflict, there are two sides. One is Xi Jinping, other is Xi Jinping. Anand Ranganathan represents Xi Jinping. his statements along with Prime Minister's statements are being echoed every day on Weibo, and people who have, for the last 1 month, misled the country by their eloquence, by their research that does not tell the facts of today, are the people who are very popular in China. So I congratulate Anand Ranganathan for his newfound popularity in China. The reality is, Prime Minister bungled. As a result, there was a clarification. The only set of people who are sharing with great virality Prime Minister's message in Chinese, in Mandarin, are the Chinese social media people. Go to Weibo and you'll find out. So clearly, the government is on a back foot.
Yeah, because they are like you, twisting words.
I do not trust the capability of the government, who in such dire situation was doing Jan Samvad rally. The defense minister was doing Jan Samvad rally, 3 Jan Samvad rallies in last 1 week. What was the election happening in India? I congratulate Sudhanshu Trivedi ji for winning exceedingly well in Rajya Sabha. This is the price the nation has to pay by the martyrs who fought bravely, but the Prime Minister, Defense Minister, External Affairs Minister cannot speak in one coherent voice. We in opposition have very categorically said that it's a matter of national security. We will stand behind the
government. Just because you don't understand,
stand behind the Chinese position.
You don't understand English or Hindi. Doesn't mean that they weren't coherent.
Well, let me get in Sudhanshu Trivedi. Let me get in Sudhanshu Trivedi. 1 minute, gentlemen.
That was rude of you. Did I take your name?
You keep quiet.
Have the decency when you take my name. You should be gracious enough to accept a rebuttal. And the rebuttal is anybody can twist like the Chinese have twisted the PM statement. Even I can twist your statement by saying that you are making sense. But you are not.
Go to Beijing.
You are as illogical as you have always been.
The Chinese soldiers, because they love your position. They love the fact that you are further strengthening the Chinese position. Welcome.
Don't break the habit of a lifetime. Continue being as illogical.
I love the way Ghanshyam Tiwari, you say it is the government and people who are with the government who are weakening the position of India in front of the Chinese. You think you are strengthening the position of India by saying everything contrary to what the Prime Minister says? Why don't you leave it? Why don't you leave it to the government of the day? And as stated by Mamata Banerjee, questions are your right to ask as the opposition, but should they be on open forum? Shouldn't those questions have been asked inside the all-party meeting where all of you were invited yesterday? Sudhanshu Trivedi, now let me ask you. No, 1 minute, calm down, Ghanshyam Tiwari. Let me ask Sudhanshu Trivedi ji. Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, I want to ask you one question. Have the communications from the government mixed up and spoilt the understanding of the armed public, or is this what you interpret as mischief? क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं बीच में कोई ऐसी कम्युनिकेशन आई है जिससे मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग घटने की बजाय बढ़ी है. आप इस चार्ज को मानते हैं?
Navika ji, in this context, I would like to quote a Sanskrit slok which says, यस्य नास्ति स्वयं प्रज्ञा शास्त्रम तस्य करोति किम लोचनाभ्याम विहीनस्य दर्पणम किम करिष्यति. It means those who have shunned their eyes of wisdom, they cannot have the capability to see the truth. Like somebody who has closed his eyes or doesn't have eyes, howsoever good mirror you show him or her, he will not be able to see the picture. This is the same peculiar case with the opposition. If it would have been on the context of the Chinese conflict, we could have accepted. But whether it is the issue of terrorism, they are having a different myopic view. Whether it is the issue of surgical strike, the question to the government. Issue of Balakot, question to the Air Force. The issue of Pulwama, question to the government. And the issue of Chinese. Particularly when this type of rumors has been mongered that they have captured our certain number of soldiers, and Chinese government has denied that nothing of this sort happened. So they have thought, oh, something has happened. Now we have to cook up something else. When Prime Minister has spoken, still you want to have an if and but. I think it is very unfortunate. And if Sumansi Ramanji was asking for where the map is, I want to ask where the map was in 1993, where the line was defined. You have removed the word existing LAC. 1996, where it was defined. As far as the map is concerned, it is very much available there on the website of any Indian department or ministry, you can see the map. But if you do not want to see with an ostrich view, it is up to you. And finally, I would like to tell us the my friend Ghanshyam Tiwari ji, who is quite a learned fellow, but he should also know, he is from Harvard, and the Harvard Kennedy School has already said that India is having an edge in case of any conflict, and he has also shown that where India is sitting on the contours, and he also represents a party who was having the defense minister. तो ना हमारी मानी है, ना चीन की मानी है, ना किसी की मानी है. मुलायम सिंह जी से पूछ लेते, रक्षा मंत्री रहे ना, और 96 के एग्रीमेंट के समय कौन था रक्षा मंत्री? मुलायम सिंह जी तो थे ना. तो आप पूछ लेते हैं क्या लिखा था, क्या शब्द नहीं लिखा था, क्यों नहीं लिखा था. पिक्चर would be very clear.
Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to rebut. Ghanshyam Tiwari.
In the last 22 years, BJP has been in power for more than 11 years. If they have to revert back to Nehru and 1996, in 1996-97, Mulayam Singh ji has stated that the Indian army went into the Chinese territory to protect itself, to protect our borders. So for Sudhanshu ji to casually talk about 1996 agreement.
Well, in between Ghanshyam Tiwari, in between also came 2005, 2013, when the Congress party was signing deals and was signing in 2008 with an MOU with the Communist Party of China. So let's not have selective history after 96, come straight to 2020. But let me get in General G.D. Bakshi. General G.D. Bakshi, General G.D. Bakshi, I want to ask you, all of these people are extremely critical about the difference of opinion that seems to them comes from the External Affairs Minister's statement on 17th of June and the Prime Minister's statement on the 19th of June. General G.D. Bakshi, today there is yet another External Affairs Ministry statement that has been put out. India unilaterally changing status quo is the charge China made today. External Affairs Ministry has gone out and said China has altered the historical position, and this is completely untenable and unacceptable. Also, China has said Indian soldiers crossed LAC, provoked us. The External Affairs Ministry has said the People's Liberation Army tried to erect structures across the LAC, and across the LOC then has got some 20,000 different kind of interpretations from these opposition parties and opposition Patrakar regiment, as Anand Ranganathan says. General G.D. Bakshi, I want to ask you a question. Is there a misunderstanding, or is there a predetermined mind that is putting everything that is being said by the government, twisting it around in such a manner that it actually ends up questioning Modi and questioning, the man, the persona who hasn't given Congress a right, or the opposition a right to trample all over him, given the popular support that he has?
Navika, first of all, thank you for letting me at least have the last word. The simple fact of the matter is that in every vibrant democracy, there is, whatever be the level, and we will are different. There should be differences in a democracy which are thrashed out in open public debate. But at the time of a national security crisis, there usually emerges a bipartisan consensus between all parties that, and when it comes to an enemy country, an adversarial nation state, we close ranks. I'm very sorry to state, I do not see that closing of ranks, even though we are in a very critical situation as far as China is concerned. I would even now request all to close ranks. If they want to thrash things out, they can ask for a second all-party meeting and thrash it within closed doors rather than making a spectacle of it. That's my first point. Second point, what has been happening? I do think that the way we have handled our strategic communication in the last 8 weeks could do with a great deal of improvement. There is, I am very sorry to state, too much of centralization at the PMO apex level, and I find a tendency of the lower echelon to completely look over their shoulders and look for orders, and nobody says anything, leading to a field day for people to speculate. I'm sure this we will improve. My third point, the Prime Minister's statement was not off the cuff. He is a Prime Minister elected with a thumping majority, and we must respect his position as the Chief Executive of the country. We must strengthen his hand at a very delicate juncture, right? By all means we question. Nobody is above questioning in a democracy, but at a critical national security crisis, we do tend to close ranks and postpone postmortems for later. Postmortems are not done when the battle is on. There were huge, in-depth postmortems after the Kargil conflict, not during the conflict. Not during the conflict. That doesn't happen. You see, my next point is the Prime Minister made a very considered statement. With inputs from the military, from the Foreign Office and all. To best of my understanding, he was describing the situation as prevailed on 19th of this month. Whatever had happened in the past, we are aware. And if I can reconstruct, let me try and reconstruct as a military man from what I gathered from open sources. Because of the COVID, every year with the exercises which we do, which match with the Chinese exercises, we were not able to do. China took advantage of that. Their brigades were exercising opposite Ladakh. One of the brigades came in civilian trucks, right? And as per my understanding, they had initially transgressed, and they keep doing that every year, but they had transgressed 3 kilometers inside our perceived line of actual control, and they had come on top of the Galwan Shok River Junction, where we have built a new road. Chinese brigade, mechanized brigade, is what I understand had come in. Satellite photographs seem to indicate that they were occupying the ridge line overlooking the new road. That is unacceptable. We counter-mobilized, we matched them soldier for soldier, tank for tank, artillery gun for artillery gun, and they seemed to blink. Then we had the military level talks at the brigade commanders level, divisional commanders level. Finally, 6th of June at the level of the corps commanders. Thereafter, it was agreed both sides would pull back. As a result of the pullback, my understanding is the Chinese went back across wherever they had come in, and they had gone back. The only point in the Galwan area was patrol point 14. That is where the Chinese had left behind a tent, and they had constructed a watchtower. Unfortunately, none of the Chinese had withdrawn from behind. That armored, that mechanized brigade was still in the Galwan River on their side. Mark my word. Where they had transgressed was on that patrol point 14 height. Our colonel of 16 Bihar, that brave soul Santosh Babu, he was sent to talk to the Chinese to take those structures away that they were transgressing. The Chinese ambushed this boy and his men. They brutally murdered him. They thought our boys would run back with a dead body. And that would be the end of the matter. But our boys fought it out even though they were outnumbered 10-1. They called for reinforcements. About 80 of our boys came. The Chinese were already waiting. 300 of them came. Right? And they have used clubs with barbed wire. They have used knives. They have used clubs with nails. These are lethal weapons. One colonel and 20 of our boys have been killed. This is a watershed moment. This 1996 Accord, Clause 6, which said that no firearms will be used within 2 kilometers of the border, now to my understanding is dead and gone and buried forever. The Chinese have done it, not we. Our boys, they burnt that tent. Despite being outnumbered, they burnt that tent. They destroyed that watchtower. Despite being outnumbered, 21 boys died. The figure on the Chinese side is varying between 30 to 46, right? The Chinese haven't come out. They are a closed society. They don't tell the truth. They haven't told the truth about the COVID casualties. How do you expect them to tell the truth here and lose faith? But the fact is, they were pushed back. So when the Prime Minister makes a statement on the 19th of June that there is no single point where there has been this, the only ambiguity point that I see is in the fingers area north of Pangong Tso. And there also, they are in that zone from finger 4 to finger 8, where these transgressions keep taking place every year. So technically,
Tanveer Ahmed, you hear it from an experienced military man. And Tanveer Ahmed, I want to ask you, in which country do we come out and make statements like, oh, we have surrendered Indian land, we have given it to China, Prime Minister ne to desh ko dhokha de diya. You know, these kind of statements, who makes at a time when there is a war going on? There are young soldiers who are working there and fighting there in sub-zero temperatures, involved in a conflagration. Are you going to bring up all your differences at this moment so that you create a lowering of morale, not only for the boys there, but their families who are waiting with bated breath at home? What kind of opposition is this? As the general says, yes, you have the right to ask questions, but in life, timing is important. When is the time to ask those questions? When is the time to criticize your Prime Minister? When is the time to raise these so-called suspicions? Is it the time when there is a crisis on the borders? Or is it the time to do so in a closed door situation as was given by the Prime Minister yesterday?
Navika ji, thank you very much for asking me such a lengthy question. Firstly, Sudhanshu ji had quoted a Sanskrit quote. Let me just tell you. There's another quote which says, Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachala. You do your deeds, don't worry about the fruits. When we have a sitting government which is absolutely looking for perception, creating a perception every time, and which is always politically, want to be politically correct, whether they are correct on national issues or not is a secondary question. And most of their talks are rhetoric in nature and reactionary in nature. So the opposition would definitely be compelled to ask a question which is going to be on the level of national interest. These questions are not against the national interest. If somebody is asking whether our land is occupied, did our soldiers die in our land or in Chinese land? When are we going to solve the problem? When are we going to take away our land which has been occupied by the Chinese army? I think it's a legitimate question, and every person who's an Indian and who believes that my sovereignty definitely needs to be protected, I think they have the right. But the problem arises when my friend Sudhanshu Trivedi and likes of him always do name calling to opposition. Right now, if at all you heard, a very learned friend was calling names to Ghanshyam Tiwari, who's more nationalistic than the person who was calling these names. This is the government which is always wants to be politically correct, rhetoric in nature, wants to create perception. Then the opposition would definitely be compelled to ask questions on the national interest.
So Anand Ranganathan, the charge is the government is more worried about perceptions. Government is more worried about controlling the media and what they are saying, rather than answering the questions the opposition is raising, and rather than being transparent. Respond to that charge.
Navika, look, we can be bombastic, we can be rhetorical, as some of these panelists are. We can come to the debate without presenting facts. We can do that. But when you have presentation of facts, try and rebut those. Now, let me just give you 2 examples of why people are not, or maybe they are, like number 11 batsmen, they've come prepared, without a guard into the middle to play. This is ridiculous. Let me give you 2 statements. Number 1, okay, let me quote verbatim what the External Affairs Minister said. And I'm quoting him right now. The Chinese side sought to erect a structure. I'm deliberately being slow so that people can comprehend it. They sought to erect a structure in Galwan Valley on our side of the LAC. Clear so far? Now let me tell you verbatim what the Prime Minister said. The violence in Galwan on 15 June arose because Chinese side was seeking to erect structures just across the LAC. And the clarification, let me quote that verbatim as well. The Prime Minister's observations that there was no Chinese presence on our side of the LAC pertain to the situation as a consequence of the bravery of our armed forces. Where is the dissonance? Where is the contradiction? अब आपको हिंदी समझ में नहीं आती, इंग्लिश समझ में नहीं आती, पता नहीं कौन सी भाषा समझ में आती है, शायद आपको ये भी समझ में नहीं आता है कि किसी ने कहा था पॉलिटिशियन ने कि लड़कों से गलती हो जाती है. Maybe you are not able to comprehend that execrable remark as well. So I don't know, once you deliver the facts, that's all. Let the facts speak for themselves. And finally, for all those who are saying that do we occupy Galwan or not, let me tell you, we claim Aksai Chin, but we don't occupy it. Likewise, it is a fact, as all these Patrakars were saying, that before 2014, China occupied the Galwan Valley. Now you disprove that. All these people who are saying that no, we occupy it, you disprove it. I'll take my words back.
Navika.
Yes, those videos are doing the rounds on various social media, but let me get in Sumant Sriraman. Sumant Sriraman, there is no problem about asking questions. My only question is, national security questions on Twitter to demonstrate national interest? Is that how we do in democracies?
Look, Navika, first of all, I want to point out several incongruities. Since General Bakshi has deep knowledge about what actually happened, there are multiple media reports, you would have seen them over the last 3-4 days, that 10 of our soldiers were held captive by the Chinese and they were later released, I think, last Thursday evening. Now, can General Bakshi confirm or deny that? Second, there is a tweet which has now been put out, which is circulating on social media from the Chinese side, which actually says that they picked up these 10 soldiers who were injured and they gave them treatment with hyperbaric oxygen to help them recover from altitude sickness. And then
may I tell you, Mr. Sumant Sriraman, that Twitter handle is unverified. That Twitter handle is unverified, and therefore, if you think you want to believe that more than you want to believe your Prime Minister, the choice is yours.
I am asking General Bakshi because he seemed to know the intimate Chinese government has denied
that nothing of this sort happened, and Government of India is not saying that what is the issue of asking questions.
And as far as Dr. Anand Ranganathan is concerned, it is shocking, Navika, that he is speaking on behalf of China. It seems he is towing the Chinese line, saying exactly what the Chinese government has been saying. I'm appalled that a person who claims
which part of Anand Ranganathan's statement is what the Chinese are saying? Which part?
That the Chinese are not currently occupying any Indian territory. That is what China has always been claiming. And if we are saying the same thing, then what is the issue?
So Anand Ranganathan, you have surrendered India.
We are not occupying our territory.
So you have surrendered India.
Sorry.
Navika,
you have surrendered India, Anand Ranganathan.
As I said, there are people who are absolutely fit.
This morning,
these people, even though they are not Patrakars, they are homeopathic doctors, they are still fit to be inducted into the Patrakar regiment. Day in and day out. No, you've had enough. You took my name. Did I take your name, Sumant Raman? Mind your language. Did I take your name? When you take my name, you should expect a rebuttal. Do you understand that?
Go ahead.
Do you understand common English? When you take my name, please expect a rebuttal. Yes, thank you. Yes, Navika, now I don't know what more I can do. I have quoted verbatim the EAM statement. I have quoted verbatim the PM statement. I have quoted verbatim the PIB clarification. What more do you want? Shall I start quoting Ramayana and Mahabharata for them to understand? I mean, this is easy, comprehensible language. And the point is, as I said, their ears are blocked. That's why they are not willing to listen to reason and comprehension.
Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, before I end this debate, I'm running short of time, gentlemen. 1 minute. Before I end the debate, Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, I want to ask you once again. The charge against the government is too many statements and too much confusion caused by these statements, lack of transparency, and questions that are floating in public domain about, 10 of our soldiers being captured, released later, and, all of these stories. And no clarification coming either from the army, from the Ministry of Defense, or the Ministry of External Affairs, or the Prime Minister. Respond to all of these charges that have been made.
If somebody is too much enamored by the rumors which are going on, he cannot do anything. Because nothing of this sort has happened is the view of the Indian side, and the Chinese External Affairs Ministry has categorically said, we have never captured any of the Indian soldiers. To find out something. The problem is, my Tanveer Ahmed, who was giving such a big sermon, I can ask who. Some party has been we are having the two representatives. One whose party chief was president in Prime Minister in 96, one was having the defense minister, and both are asking question to us. भाई इससे तो मुझे एक बात समझ में आती है, अगर कोई पहले हम लोगों के बचपन में रेडियो पे एक प्रोग्राम आता था यूपी में बहरे बाबा, तो उसमें जो वो सुनना चाहते थे वही सुनते थे. Whatever is being said is not able to understand. The problem is you are trying to pick and choose from social media, whether from Indian social media or Chinese social media, from unauthenticated sources. But the authentic statement, whether of the Indian government, whether of the Chinese government, you are not ready to accept. So it is the problem with you, because you are always enamored, motivated, misguided, more by anti-Modi sentiment, not by the realistic situation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, while at a time of crisis, any country would expect its citizens, its political parties, and its government to stand right behind it, so that all our forces have to do is feel the strength coming from behind, from the entire country, so that they can concentrate and put their best foot forward in protecting the motherland. But at this moment, what we hear is voices from a divided nation. Is this really going to help the morale of our armed forces? Questions is the right of every opposition, but the timing of the questions is what is most important. Well, there can always be perceptions, there can always be allegations, there can always be an analysis that the government hasn't quite handled the situation of communication as well as it could have. But that is an issue that is hardly as important as the issue of protecting our own country. So can we as a nation get together, stand behind our soldiers, speak in one voice, so that our adversary doesn't get an advantage from the divided voices that come from this country? That is the only question we want to ask.